Part 4 of the Constitution. Articles 36 to 51. Not enforceable in courts, yet fundamental in governance. The Directive Principles of State Policy. Article 36 defines the state, 37 guides the nation's fate. Courts may not enforce these lines, yet governance follows these constitutional signs. They build a welfare-oriented way, guiding policy every day. Social and economic justice grows through the constitutional path India chose. Article 38 sets the aim, reducing inequality remains central in frame. Justice reaching every sphere, making democratic balance clear. Article 39 strongly declares equal livelihood and welfare shares. Ownership of resources for public good, economic justice understood. No concentration of wealth and power, workers protected every hour. Equal pay for equal work, human dignity beyond social worth. Children protected from abuse and pain, healthy development must remain. Youth safeguarded from exploitation's hand, constitutional welfare across the land. Directive principles guide the way, helping governance every day. Not rights enforced inside the court, but ideals the Constitution supports. Justice, welfare, equality, building a balanced society. From village roads to policy halls, the Constitution speaks for all. Article 39A came through change, free legal aid within constitutional range. Equal justice must remain alive, so weaker sections can also survive. The 42nd Amendment strengthened this line, making access to justice a constitutional sign. Article 40 gives local voice, village panchayats through public choice. Grassroots democracy standing strong, bringing participation along. Article 41 speaks of care, right to work in education fair, public assistance in times of need, constitutional support indeed. Unemployment, sickness, difficult years, the welfare state responds to fears. Human dignity must survive through policies helping people rise. Article 42 protects labor rights, humane conditions in working life, maternity relief and worker care, constitutional responsibility shared. Article 43 keeps the vision clear, living wages year by year. Decent standard of life must rise, social justice remains the prize. Promotion of cottage industries too, village economy must continue. Gandhian ideals within the frame, rural development remains the aim. Fundamental rights protect freedom's flame. Directive principles guide the nation's aim. One protects liberty, one builds welfare. Together, they strengthen democracy. Article 43A entered later in time. Worker participation became part of the line. Industry sharing management space, industrial democracy taking place. Again, the 42nd Amendment came, expanding welfare through constitutional frame. Article 44 enters debate, uniform civil code discussed by the state, balancing diversity and unity through constitutional continuity. Article 45 protects the child, early education, mile by mile. The 86th Amendment changed the way education gained stronger constitutional place. Children below 6 years of age, care and education remain central stage. Building the future from the start, human development at the nation's heart. Article 46 firmly stands, protecting weaker sections across the land. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, educational and economic rise. Protection from injustice and exploitation too. Social equality must continue. Constitutional morality remains alive through opportunities helping communities rise. Directive principles light the way, guiding governance every day. Social and economic justice justice grows through constitutional values the nation knows. Not temporary promises made by power, but ideals meant for every hour. From every village to every state, DPSPs help shape the nation's fate. Article 47 speaks of health, nutrition becoming national wealth. Public health remains a state concern. Human development must return. Improving living standards every year. Welfare governance becoming clear. And intoxicating substances controlled by law. Protecting society through constitutional thought. Article 48 guides agriculture's way. Modern scientific methods every day. Animal husbandry also finds place. Improving rural economic base. Cow slaughter restrictions discussed in frame. Cultural and agricultural constitutional aim. Article 48 it came later in time. Through the 42nd Amendment line. Forest, wildlife, rivers, air. Environmental responsibility shared. Ecological balance must survive for future generations to thrive. Development balanced with sustainability. Constitutional environmental responsibility. Article 49 protects heritage pride. Monuments and culture nationwide. Historical treasures preserved with care. Civilizational memory shared. Article 50 keeps judiciary free from executive authority. Separation of powers remains strong. Constitutional balance moving along. Article 51 looks beyond the state. International peace remains the aim of fate. Respect for treaties and global law, promoting harmony through constitutional thought. Peaceful settlement across the earth. International cooperation gaining worth. India's vision reaching beyond borders wide. Constitutional diplomacy is national guide. Not temporary slogans, not election promises, not passing political speeches, but constitutional directions meant to guide the republic across generations. Directive principles guide the way, helping governance every day. Justice, welfare, equality, building a stronger democracy. From social justice to village voice, from legal aid to public choice, from worker rights to environmental care. Constitutional values remain shared. Party 4 of the Constitution stands, guiding policy across the land. Not enforceable by judicial might, yet fundamental in governance and national life.